All right, so I'm going to go through the Unit 8 study guide chunk by chunk. So I'm going to actually do lots of little mini videos throughout. So when you're looking at the solutions, you'll just click on the solutions that apply to specific problems, okay? So the first part is the graphing systems of equations that actually have an application. So 2 car rental agencies have the following rate structures for a subcompact car. U-Rent charges $50 per day plus 15 cents per mile, and Paynes charges $45 per day plus 20 cents per mile. Write a system of equations to model the situation. So remember from Unit 7, the per word, oops, too much. We have a starting value and then we have a rate. So if I have the $50 is the starting value. Now I know that says per day, but we're talking about for a 1-day rental plus 15 cents per mile. Well, we can represent that as y equals $50 plus 15 cents. Remember, cents is represented with a decimal per mile, where x is the number of miles and y is the cost. Okay, that's for U-Rent. So then Paynes charges $45 per day. So there's my starting value plus 20 cents per mile. So 0.20x. Label the 2 companies on the graph to the right. So if we pay attention to our starting values, we can identify which one is which. So if I look at the red graph has, here's 40 and here's 60, and the red graph is starting right in between that, which means this is a starting value of 50. That means that the red graph has to be the first company U-Rent. Okay, so I'm going to highlight that in kind of this reddish color. Let's see if that's too dark or not. Is it too dark? Oh, that's not bad. All right, so then the other equation starts at 45, which is where this blue line starts. So therefore, this one is the blue graph. So I'm going to go back over here and I'm going to label the blue one as Paynes. It's a strange name for a car rental company. Okay. So now we have to answer some questions about it. So if I am going to drive for 50 miles, which should you rent from? Now, one thing I didn't do is I didn't label my axes, and so I probably should have done that. So I have miles over here on the x-axis, and I have costs right here on the y-axis. So if I am going to drive for 50 miles, that means that I'm going to go over here to the x-axis. So here I have 50 miles. And I'm going to trace that up. Now, if you are a smart consumer, you are going to rent from the company that is the lower cost. Cost is on the horizontal or on the vertical axis over here. So whatever one I come to first is lower. You notice how the blue line is lower than the red line? That means that the cost is lower at the blue company or Paynes for this particular mileage. So I would rent from Paynes if I was only going to drive for 50 miles. Now, if I drive for 100 miles, let's take a look. So I go over here, I trace up. Well, 100 is the point of intersection. That means that the 2 values or the 2 companies are the same. So for 100 miles, it doesn't matter which one. So rent from either company because the costs are the same. Costs are equal. If I drive for 150 miles, so now I'm taking this over here. Oops. Notice how the red line now has switched to be the lower one. So now if I'm going to travel a long distance, I'm going to go with U-Rent. Okay, and so that's the value of systems of equations when we have a slope-intercept form graph, is the fact that you can decide which company is a better deal for which amount of money that you are willing to spend or the number of miles you're going to drive. So if you're going to go a short distance, you should go with Pains. If you're going to go a long distance, you should go with YouRent. Okay? And if you're going to go 100 miles exactly, it doesn't matter which one. Okay? All right, so similarly in number 2, Movies R Us has 2 video rental plans. The regular video plan charges $4 for each video rental. So the regular, $4 for each video rental. And this is probably before you guys were born, but we actually had to rent movies and pay for them per video. They were not all streaming. Think Redbox or Blockbuster, if you remember those. So then 4 times each movie, and there's no extra charges, okay? The other company is a subscription service. So this is, Netflix used to be a subscription service, or they might still, where you could order DVDs that would be delivered to your house. And so that was a membership. And so we take a membership fee, and then they charge $2 for each video rental. Okay, so that would be Y equals a membership fee, so $8 plus then $2 per rental. So if you go over here to your graph, which one is which? Well, one of them does not have a starting or a y-intercept. It's a y-intercept of 0, so that's the red one. That is the regular video plan. So this is the regular plan, is the red line. The blue line, then, because I'm starting at a cost of $8, is my preferred video plan. Okay, so when should you go with the regular plan? You should go with the regular plan. Remember, your goal is to save money. So the red line is below the blue line for all of these movie rentals up until this point. Okay, so this is the number of movies, and this was the cost. Okay, so up until 4 movies, so less than 4 movies, you are saving money, and you should go with the regular plan. Less than 4 movies. Think about it. If you don't rent a lot of movies, why would you pay for a subscription service to rent movies? Okay. The preferred plan is lower after 4 movies. That means that the cost is lower if I rent more than 4 movies. More than 4 movies. And if you are going to rent exactly 4 movies, then it doesn't matter. Okay, so it's just a matter of what you prefer. Okay? All right, so that is applications with systems.